First episode here. It's called Taking Shots with Drunk on Social. I've got Jeff. What's up, buddy?
Hi, buddy. Glad to be here. This is going to be fun.
It should be, right? And we're using Ecamm Live to go in different channels. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. Anywhere else, just follow us. We've got one topic for you. That's the idea of these quick shots. It's in the middle of the day. Are people drinking in the middle of the day, Jeff?
Uh, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, Tristan.
I love it. Well, let's talk about one thing, and that's Reels. I've got a great article that Jeff and I were reading this morning, and let's just go right to it. Jeff, it might pop up on your YouTube there, so if you want to read it along there, it says new report shows that Reels are generating the most reach on Instagram. It's got a little great graph there. Jeff, what stood out for you on the graph? That was the most important piece to me. It really showcases things.
It's interesting, but what's most important is the reach. That's what you should really be noticing here, because remember, this just changed recently. Adam Mosseri came out and said, Instagram's app is going to be going more video, and the Kardashians came out and bitched about it and said, make Instagram again. But what is important to note here is that you might look at this and say, well, look at this by distribution, Tristan, it's 42% for images. And for comments distribution, it's more for images. That's right now. This is going to gradually change. And I think what exemplifies that is the estimated reach distribution. It's telling us your reels are going to get more reach, which means in a short amount of time, reels are going to take over by all of those categories. Everything I see on that chart, the red will be the biggest number.
Which could be a danger too. I mean, tomorrow we're going to talk about another app, and this is what I wanted to share too, the middle one, because in this research, I had 77 million Instagram posts that were surveyed or analyzed. The main piece is exactly what Jeff said. It said, look at the estimated reach bar. Reels, despite being the third most popular post option, are seeing the most reach on the platform by a notable margin. So that's important to pay attention to. And then we'll post up this link at the top. But why is this important, Jeff? Here's back to the little graph. To us as a business, why should we be concerned about this?
Well, I mean, from my perspective, if you are on social media to grow your business and grow your brand, the whole name of the game is eyeballs, right? It's the more people that see it, the more opportunity you're going to have to gain followers, the more opportunity you're going to gain to get engagement, which means the more opportunity you're going to have to make connections. And that's why you're doing this. And so, in other words, if you say, screw video, I'm not doing it, eventually you're going to go extinct on social media, especially Instagram. Obviously, you never were on TikTok. The same applies to Facebook. And so we say this all the time, lean into what the platforms are telling us to push. And they're telling us to push reels. And I just told Tristan this morning, I looked at my analytics recently on Instagram and I surprised myself. I've posted 50 reels in the last 30 days. And just
Dude.
On accident, kind of, but I knew it. Like I knew I needed to lean into reels, and so should you, the audience. You all should be leaning into reels, and really, that's like my focal strategy now. I'm like, screw static posts, screw images. I'm just going all in on reels.
And here's our challenge to you. We would like you to post one reel a day. Have that be your actual feed post. You don't need to post a picture. Just shoot the little video, 60 seconds, 90 seconds now or less. Then share that onto your feed, and then do what Jeff does. Grab that and post it onto the stories. Why? Because stories are still getting millions and billions of views a day. Mm-hmm. So that's really important, man. Anything you have to add there for the tactics before we wrap up?
I think the last thing you will say is, as you remember, as a general strategy, as you're creating this short form content, not only is it going to make you better, it's going to make you a better marketer, because it's going to take you, you're going to be taking topics, condensing them into bite-sized pieces, AKA less than 90 seconds roughly. And now you've got your content to post other places. So although we're focusing on Instagram today, this is going to make you better and going to get you more reach on all of the platforms. And so, lean into it. Reels should be your number one, arguably maybe your only strategy on Instagram right now.
All right.
Get comfortable.
We got two questions. Facebook feedback on short versus long reels. What do you think? Short versus long?
Well, technically, and we discussed this morning on another call, technically, although all videos are reels on Instagram now, they're kind of not. In other words, I did a video in the last 2 weeks that was 1 minute and 54 seconds. Let's just call it 2 minutes. And when I went to post it as a reel, like I chose reel in the drop down, it cut the video to 90 seconds. And I was like, no, can't happen. Like you need the entire minute 54. So I went to just post it as a feed post. And so even though that video is going to show up as a reel on the reels tab and in the reels section, it's still considered long form by the letter of the law. Now, the good news about this is it's still a reel. You just can't post it as a reel, otherwise it'll get cut. But I was able to connect that to Facebook, and I could double it over to Facebook, which you cannot do with a technical reel. It's so goofy. Hope you're following along here. But does that answer that question?
I think it does. And then the last question, I see that the 7 seconds do better, yet they don't have the content. Content is
Yeah.
great, yet it doesn't for views. Feedback after 50 reels in 30 days. I mean, Jeff and I, that's actually very little. We've done 100 in 30
Yeah.
days. And
Well,
what's the lesson?
well, here's what I would say to that. First of all, you're right. If you do 7 to 15-second videos, here's why it's going to perform better. Because the algorithm and the platforms are paying attention to watch time and their watch time percentage. So even though your 1 minute video might be power packed with a bunch of powerful content, there's a lot of ADDers in the world that will only give you 5 seconds. But if that same ADDer gave your 15-second video, your 7-second video 5 seconds, you get rewarded by the platform because they watched 80%, 90% versus 5%. So here's what my suggestion. If you're after virality and you want the views, then go shorter. But if you are committed to a process, if you're committed to a plan and you have your niche content, go for it, do it. And it doesn't matter if it's 90 seconds, it doesn't matter if it's 45 seconds, just be consistent and give it to the world. And you'll be rewarded over time. But here's the best strategy. Do both.
Yeah, that is the key. And once you do them, don't just post them and forget about them or just look at the likes. Do me a favor, go to the insights because this is what we do. After we did this with 100 or 50 videos, you go to the insights, you take a look at how many times it was shared and how many times it was saved. And then you start realizing, got it, I understand what my audience wants more of. I'll do more of that. It requires research. You just can't post a whole bunch of stuff and keep doing the exact same thing over and over, right?
Yep.
So that's all we got.
Can I offer one more thing too to that question too? By the way, I will tell you that I did learn the thing I learned the most from the 50 videos, which I've done that before, is that my wife and I have one where we used a trending sound. It's still running.
I
It's
remember.
at 180,000 views, tons of comments, tons of shares, and it told me. And I tell my wife this all the time. That tells me I'm getting a ton of married couples that love that video. We have to continue to give them our married life.
Loves the content on that video because the
Yeah.
content's fucking hilarious.
It is very funny. Yeah.
That's the key right there, dude. And using trending videos, sounds, and all of that. So
Awesome.
look, tune in almost every day. We're going to do these for about 10 minutes. We're going to pick one topic on social daily. We're going to call it your daily shots with Drunk on Social. Jeff Pfitzer, Tristan Ahumada. Jeff will be at the Ozarks tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
We'll see how that goes.
Thanks, everybody.